Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca. If you're new, welcome. Today we'll be doing my TBR for, I believe, 3 upcoming readathons that I'm hoping to do in the last week of October. So first we have Vampathon, which is being hosted by Jody from @VanillaMoon and Kat from @BambinaKatarina. Then we have Kay from Attribution, Nico August, and Mayana Reads. So that runs the final week of October, so October 25th to October 31st. And then I'm also going to do Camp Weekend-ween, which is being hosted by Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads, and that'll run from October 29th to the 31st. And then I'm going to try for Smutathon, which is run by @RileyMarie and Lainey from @GingerReadsLainey. I'll have all of the hosts and their readathon announcement videos linked if I can, and I'll have their names down in the description below. So for Vampathon, they have a bingo board which has all of the prompts on it, so I will have that probably over here on the screen. So the prompts include a book to sink your teeth into, paranormal / supernatural romance, a gothic or spooky cover, a vampire book to movie, which a vampire book that is turned into a movie. I have decided to twist this one a little bit, but I'll get to that later. Spooky middle grade, spooky graphic novel or manga, a book with a gothic setting, supernatural main character, horror book, blood is used as magic, so blood is used in magic in the book, and then a thriller / murder mystery, a book that frightens you, a book with blood on the cover, read a book in the dark, which is just a normal prompt. Read your book in the dark. You can read anything you want as long as you're reading in the dark. Witchy vibes, and set in a school. I am going to try and combine these prompts as much as I possibly can. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to apply these books, but these are kind of the books I've chosen for this particular read along. So for this one, I have chosen, if you hear the squeaking, it's my chair and I'm so sorry. So for this one, I've picked Mina and the Undead. This one is definitely a book I want to sink my teeth into. I've actually put off reading this all month just so I could read this for readathons. So I've seen this book a lot. That's my cat trying to get into my closet. So I've seen this book a lot on BookTube. So this is a vampire book set in New Orleans in 1995. So Mina goes to New Orleans to visit her estranged sister Libby, and can't wait to explore the city. She loves horror movies and she wants to crack the darkest secrets in New Orleans: the vampire tours, the seedy bars, spooky cemeteries, and the local myths. So this is a horror, YA, paranormal kind of mystery, I guess you would say, because Mina ends up discovering a girl who looks like her strange sister Libby, who she's staying with for the summer, and this girl has puncture marks in her neck like a vampire, so somebody's recreating these supernatural killings and she wants to discover who they are. So this is by Amy McCaw, and I can't wait to get to it. The next book I have, I'm going to be reading on Libby. So yep, there she is. Hi. Hi. So, so the book I borrowed from my library is Dead Until Dark by Charlene Harris. This is the first book in the Sookie Stackhouse series. I picked this one as my vampire book to movie adaptation, even though it was adapted into a TV series known as True Blood. If you haven't heard of it, watch it. It's amazing. Truly adult. So viewer discretion advised. But so this is the first book in the series. I have it up on my Kindle. So follows Sookie Stackhouse, who's a small town waitress, but she can hear thoughts. And then she runs into Vampire Belle, who, as a vampire, doesn't have thoughts for her to read. So, you know, if you know the premise of True Blood, it's pretty much that. Vampires are out of the coffin, so to speak. So everybody knows they exist and they're trying to gain rights. So we'll see how this is. I loved True Blood. We'll say this. I love the first season of True Blood. I haven't gotten much further. I have not seen the end of it. I don't know how it ends. That is one I'm looking forward to. The next one is a reread for me. So this is in my Halloween book sock pouch, whatever. This is, I got off Etsy by Always September. I can link it down below if you're interested, but it's ready to start. So this is a reread for me. I read it for the first time last October, so very much looking forward to diving back into this. It is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This is the first in what I believe is a trilogy. I have all of the books, and I believe the last one is the end of the series. So there's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and As Good as Dead. So I wanted to reread this one before I read the second and the third one, because I haven't picked this up in a year, and I want to refresh my memory. So this follows Stevie Bell, who, as her capstone or end of senior year project, has decided to investigate the murder of local favorite Andy Bell, who was killed by Sal Singh. Everybody believes that Sal Singh killed his girlfriend Andy Bell, but there is no proof because all they found was Sal Singh dead, and they have not found Andy's body. So she sets out to prove that Sal was innocent and he didn't actually kill Andy Bell. So I love this the first time. I believe I gave it 4 or 5 stars. So very much looking forward to picking it up again. And this would cover the murder mystery prompt. I think that's about it. The next one I have is a book that scares me and one that has blood on the cover. So this is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I've heard great things about Grady Hendrix. This will be not the first book I picked up, but because I've started Final Girl. No, that's Riley Sager. I think I started, I'm looking at my books. I think I started Horror Store and I haven't finished it yet. So hopefully this one works out better for me. But this is a gorgeous edition I got off of eBay. So it's got the nice black sprayed edges. It's got a design on the front of the cover, and it is also signed by Grady Hendrix. So very excited to pick this up. It has blood on the cover. To sum this up, I don't know much about it. I believe it is about a final girl support group, and then the girls start getting picked off. So obviously someone has discovered the support group. Very much looking forward. It is blurbed by Charlene Harris, who wrote Dead Until Dark. The next one is a new release that I believe just came out recently. Yeah, just came out this year. This is The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. This is witchy vibes, and it's also set in a school. So this is about, what's her name? Takes place in 1911 New York City, where Frances Hallowell works in a seamstress shop, I believe, and I believe she's attacked by a man, and next thing she knows, her shearing scissors appear in his neck and he's dead. So she's tried as a witch, and she's saved by these mysterious women who appear in cloaks and say they're taking her to a sanatorium, but it ends up being a school for witches named Haxahaven Academy. The back blurb says Haxahaven Academy rules for young witches. 1, mind your instructors. 2, no unsupervised spell work. 3, don't leave after dark. So that's all I really know. I love this cover. It's gorgeous. I knew I had to get this as soon as I heard. I don't remember who I heard mention it, but I knew I wanted it, so I definitely picked this up, and I cannot wait to read it. The next book I'm planning on using for Vampathon is a middle grade, and it's The Mystery of Black Hallow Lane by Julia Noble. I don't know much about this. It's about a girl whose father disappeared and her mother's a bit too busy to parent her, so she's sent off to a prestigious boarding school in England, where she discovers that her father actually attended. And there's a mystery, a secret society, and she wants to see if the secret society has something to do with her father's disappearance. So very interested to pick this up. It is the first book in a series. I don't know if it's just a duology or if there are more. I know there's one other book out right now, I believe, titled The Secret of Whitestone Creek. So it sounds really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to picking it up. And the final book that I'm looking to pick up for Vampathon is actually a graphic novel titled I Love Halloween by Keith Griffin, with the art by Benjamin Roman. I have it on my Kindle. So this would also obviously cover the spooky graphic novel. So this is about a bunch of kids who take the trick too far in trick or treat. If they get a healthy treat, then it's endgame for the person who gave it to them. So they start off their trick or treating by getting an apple, and they blame the person who gave them the apple for the horrible candy they get for the rest of the night. So they decided to take revenge. So this is a very interesting premise, and I look forward to seeing how that continues and takes off. So that's my Vampathon TBR, and now we're gonna get into my Camp Weekend-ween TBR, and I'm wearing my Camp Weekend-ween merch. This is the sweatshirt. Love it. It's super comfy. I got it big on purpose, so very slouchy. There are only 4 prompts for this readathon, this particular readathon, since it's a weekend readathon. Not particularly sure what I'm gonna pick up for all of them, but I am gonna try and use the same books for the different TBRs, so I'm not reading a ridiculous amount of books. So Camp Weekend-ween is hosted by Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads. It runs from October 29th to October 31st. Prompt 1 is read a book with a green cover. Prompt 2, read a book with a group of teens as the main characters. 3, read a slasher, thriller, mystery, or horror book. And 4, read a book with a camp setting. I'm not sure what I'm going to read for some of these. So for the green cover, I have Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. I picked this purely because it was, where is it? Okay, here it is. This was compared to Scooby-Doo, and I love Scooby-Doo. That's like my favorite childhood cartoon. So it says, with rakish humor and brilliantly orchestrated mayhem, Meddling Kids subverts teen detective archetypes like the Hardy Boys, the Famous Five, and Scooby-Doo, and delivers an exuberant and wickedly entertaining celebration of horror, love, friendship, and many tentacled interdimensional demon spawn. So I don't know anything else about this. I purely got it because it was compared to Scooby-Doo, and I loved it. And Meddling Kids, if you've seen Scooby-Doo, you know they are always called Meddling Kids when they unmask the bad guy. So this just spoke to me. This cover is gorgeous. It has the green cover, so it does meet the prompt. and very much looking forward to this. It sounds amazing. Now for the read a book with a group of teens as the main characters. I think I can also use that book because it is about a group of teens. I'm not sure when exactly it takes place, whether they're adults when it takes place, or if it's still about a group of teens, but from the blurb, it seems like it is about a group of teens solving mysteries like Scooby-Doo and the Hardy Boys and the Famous Five. So I'm gonna use that one for that too. For the Rhea Slasher thriller mystery horror book, I'm gonna reuse Mina and the Undead. This is a horror book, so I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna apply that to Camp Weekend-ween also. And then takes place at a camp. I don't really have a book that takes place at a camp. I think the only one I have is A Box in the Woods by Morton Johnson, part of the Truly Devious universe, but I just read that and I don't really want to revisit it even though I loved it. So at this point I really don't have one that takes place in a camp. If I find one, I will definitely apply that to this. I was hoping to do all the prompts since there are only 4, but we'll see how that works out after I've started. Then we move on to Smutathon, which is run by Riley Marie and Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey. This runs from October 25th to October 31st again. So again, gonna do my best to use similar books for the different readathons, but as it is Smutathon, a lot of adult books, all of which are on my Kindle. So the prompts for Smutathon include dark, enemies or rivals, paranormal, takes place on Halloween, reverse Aram, monster, red or purple on the cover, vampire, 2021 release, a novella, a book about shifters, so anything with like werewolves or any type of supernatural creature like that, new to you author, aliens, read in one sitting, a taboo, and a supernatural main character. I'm pretty sure all of these books have supernatural main characters. I don't know exactly which books I'm going to apply to each of these prompts, so I'm just going to read off the books that I have and I'll apply them to the different prompts and I will tell them to you in my wrap up for the month. So the group book is A Lady in a Brooksgrave Manor by Catherine Moon. So this one can apply to a lot of the prompts, but this is the group book, so everybody's going to be reading this one. I believe it's about vampires. Okay, so this is about a woman who is offered a place at Brooksgrave Manor after losing her job. This is a house of ill and unusual repute, so it sounds like a perfect fit for a woman of Esther's inclinations. So there's a Dr. Underwood who seems kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type, and it's a reverse Aram, so one girl, more men, and it is a monster book, so I'm thinking vampires and some other things, but it's supposed to be really steamy and I've heard good thoughts on it, so I definitely wanted to pick it up, which is really what drew me, because originally I was just gonna read A Lady in Brooksgrave Manor and just go from there, but I decided after watching Riley's TBR that a lot of the books on her TBR look so interesting, and I go through romance books pretty quickly, so I figured I'd also pick a couple more that she mentioned and check those out because they all sounded really good. So the next one that she mentioned was Lessons in Corruption by Gianna Darling. Apparently this is a forbidden teacher-student romance, which not my favorite, but it also has to do with a motorcycle club, and that's what drew me. So this is a younger male, older female. He is 18. So this is a motorcycle student-teacher romance with an age gap. Apparently they get together before school, and then they end up starting school, and all of a sudden she's his teacher. He is the heir to a notorious criminal motorcycle club, and also her student. This sounds so interesting. It just drew my attention. It's about 406 pages, so I'm pretty sure this is one I can get through in one sitting. So we'll see how that goes. The next one is Hooked, which is kind of like not a retelling. It's not a retelling of Peter Pan, but it's like a based off of, I guess you could call it. So this is written by Emily McIntyre, and it's about Hook, who wants revenge on this guy, so he decides to kidnap his daughter, who is Wendy. And it is a very dark romance, but apparently it does have a happy ending. It is a contemporary romance. It's not a fantasy like Peter Pan, so it's not a literal retelling. But I mean, this is a guy who it's based off Hook and Wendy. I really kind of just liked it from that. So it is part of the Never After series, which is a collection of dark romances where the villain gets the girl. So I guess it's kind of like, what's that other series I have that's based like that? Here, this one by Katie Roberts. It's the, what's it called? The Wicked Villains series. The Wicked Villains series by Katie Roberts, which also has the Disney type villains where characters where the villain actually ends up with the character. So I have those books. I have not read them yet. But the premise seems interesting. And the next one is Feed by Aveda Weiss. This is a monster romance, which I believe is between a fae and a succubus. A fairy, a succubus, and a death's head hawkmoth fairy. So apparently they are co-workers and they do not get along because he's kind of easygoing and she's kind of rigid. So they don't get along at work. So imagine her shock when her coworker actually shows up on her door offering to feed her succubus urges. So this is a novelette, like a novella, and it's only 54 pages. So this is going to be real easy to get through. So the next one for Smutathon is Scream for Us by Molly Doyle. This one, when Riley was giving the synopsis, she mentioned that it has a lot of the horror villains in it. So kind of like Jason Voorhees and Ghostface and others like that, which is what really drew my attention to this book because I wanted to see how they apply that to this book. So it takes place at a Halloween party that Quinn finds herself captivated by 3 masked men and is immersed in a night of both pleasure and pain. And she finally has the perfect opportunity to bring her darkest fantasies to life or death. So this is another short one. It's less than 100 pages, so another one I could probably get through relatively quickly. The next one, so this is Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. And this is another, I believe, monster romance. It is part of a trilogy. So I believe this is between a magician and a ghost hunter. So Leon is a magician known for killing those who make the wrong move. And the one he's supposed to take, the one he should have killed, he doesn't. So the cult that once controlled him wants her, and I'm not about to lose my new toy to them. And then Ray, who is his new toy. Loves hunting ghosts is her passion. But something evil is calling her name, and she doesn't know. She doesn't know who to trust. All she knows is that a demon is stalking her and he wants her soul. So it is a standalone. It's over 450 pages. So that's another one to look forward to. Next, I have Savage Beginnings by J.L. Beck, which is a dark mafia arranged marriage. So this guy is obsessed with Alina Romero, who is the daughter of a mafia lord or kingpin or whatever, and he strikes a deal. She becomes his wife. She bears his children, and she will bend to his will. And what he desires most is to bring down her father, who took everything from him. So it is a dark mafia romance. It contains graphic language and mature themes. There's no cheating, which I love, and it's about 340 pages. So looking forward to that one too. Games We Play is another Halloween spooky type adult smutty novel. So this one is written by Dana Isley. I'll have the cover. So this is about Jack, who is a faceless gamer known as the Joker. He plays video games for a living, and uses his gravelly voice to bring people's sexual fantasies to life. I'm here for that. Top gaming site on the West Coast sends someone out to interview him. Quinlan walks in with her auburn curls and thick curves, and they're instantly drawn to each other. Quinlan has no idea of the monster that lurks beneath the surface of his calm demeanor. Jack is quicksand, pulling her down into the dark underbelly of his desires. To get out unscathed, she'll need to give in to the hunger she has always tried to deny. Again, less than 100 pages, but it just sounds amazing. So looking forward to seeing how that goes. And then I have another novella, which I've had on my Kindle Unlimited for what seems like forever, and this is The Witch's Wolves by Ellie Mae McGregor. So this is kind of a Little Red Riding Hood type book. So Little Red Riding Hood is all grown up and she's queer. Manon has been caught on one scandalous situation too many, and now she's on the run. When she finally sees a lone cottage in the woods, she thinks she's found her salvation, only to find that she stumbled into a den of wolves. But she soon finds that these wolf men are much more interested in pleasure than they are pain. So this is an MMF romance novella with a guaranteed a happy ending. So that was one Riley recommended in a past video that sounded interesting, and I wanted to pick it up. And then the final book I have is one I believe came out recently. It just came out this month, I believe, and it is The Horseman of Sleepy Hollow by Rebecca F. Kenny. This is a headless horseman romance. So another spooky romance. Again, a novella, a little more than 100 pages, should be a quick read. Follows Katrina, who's the flirt, the coquette, the tease. One night, she comes face to face with the most horrifying myth ever, and that is the Headless Horseman himself, who takes her prisoner, forces her to confront her own prejudices and expectations as she discovers a deeper world of intrigue and magic. So this is a dark romantic novella. Said to be perfect for fans of Jennifer L. Armentrout, Laura Thalassa, and Beck McMaster. If you have watched my channel before, you know I love Jennifer L. Armentrout, especially her from Blood and Ash series. So very much looking forward to seeing what this has to offer, and maybe I have a couple of new favorite authors that I can start reading from. That is a lot of books to read in the final week of October that is coming up. I still do have to go to work, so I'm obviously going to do the best that I can. So I have a lot of books right on my Kindle, which I do take to work with me every day to read during lunch. So I have a lot of books on my TBR that I want to finish in this week. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them. I hope I do. But I will definitely let you know in my wrap up at the end of the month. Thanks for watching. I'm sure this is a really long video. I hope you get some recommendations to finish the spooky season off. I plan to continue through November. So I'll see you guys in my next video. I will have the booktubers that I mentioned listed down below if you would like to take part in these read-alongs. Please join in. It will be so much fun. Let me know in the comments. I would love to chat with you guys. If you've read any of these books, please let me know what you think. No spoilers, but let me know. I will see you guys in my next video. Have a good day or night wherever you are, and don't forget to crack open a good book. Bye.